Wernher von Braun came to Huntsville, Alabama in 1950 to launch the U.S. rocket program. The former Nazi scientist said the area reminded him of Bavaria. Today, Huntsville calls itself Rocket City, USA, the Pentagon of the South.
We were a sleepy little southern town that happened to have somebody like him roll in and change the way that we do things. And it stuck. The people saw the benefits. We started getting people from all over the country, so the sleepy cotton town image went away fairly quickly.
U.S. defense dollars have made Huntsville an oasis of prosperity, along with Madison County around it. While jobs disappeared in 25 states in September, Madison County was promoting almost 5,000 job openings. The world's most powerful military is viewed by civic boosters in Huntsville as an economic engine and opportunity for growth. The close-knit group is led by local attorney Joe Ritch and his political sponsor in Washington, Alabama Senator Richard Shelby. Shelby is the sixth most senior Republican in the Senate and a member of its Appropriations Committee.
He is tough and smart, and when he wants something, he's probably going to get most of it. All I know is that you want him on your side in tough times. He is extremely effective at carrying the message to those that don't see the benefit of some things going on in our state, and for that, we have been extremely blessed.
Shelby and Alabama's junior senator, Republican Jeff Sessions, opposed a deficit-cutting compromise between Congress and the president back in August. They said the spending cuts weren't deep enough, yet both men supported increased spending in their home state during a 2005 reorganization of the military. This realignment brought 3 Army commands, more than 4,000 jobs, and tens of billions in federal contracting dollars to Redstone Arsenal, which is next to Huntsville. Redstone now houses the Army Materiel Command, the Space and Missile Defense Command, and major components of the Defense Intelligence Agency and the Missile Defense Agency.
The more boots on the ground that this community has, people actually working here rather than working out of Virginia or working out of San Diego and coming in once a month. I mean, those are people, boots on the ground, who spend $80,000 a year in your community. They add to your economic engine.
A little more than a decade ago, Joe Ritch came up with an unusual plan to increase Huntsville's influence in Washington and at the Pentagon. He and city leaders, including the former mayor and members of the Huntsville-Madison Chamber of Commerce, developed a campaign to build 10 luxury houses for Army generals stationed at the Arsenal. The proposal ran into problems clearing Army ethics guidelines. An Army memo said, "The predominant concern is that there not be the appearance of improper conduct or influence with respect to any contributions whose financial interests could be affected by local Army decisions." So, rather than raise money privately, Joe Ritch and his allies looked to state taxpayers to pay for the houses. They identified more than $1 million in city funds that had been set aside to repave local roads. They used it to build the first 3 houses, and the state transferred money to the city to make up the deficit. The city also got a state law change to authorize the gift, and local builders discounted the cost of their supplies and services. The Army was pleased. The first generals moved into their new homes in late 2003, months before the Defense Department finalized its plans for the 2005 base realignment and closing procedure known as BRAC.
Well, to me, the BRAC decisions are the end game. From our standpoint, it's much, much better, more important that we start, which we have, preparing and trying to find appropriate things to be here, and trying to figure out how we can either adjust ourselves or make a case, or otherwise be involved in helping someone see that might be a good idea. They may never listen to us, but we're certainly going to make the effort.
Melanie Sloan, executive director of the nonprofit Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, says the gift houses put the generals ahead of taxpayers and sound judgment. Since the 2005 base realignment, the Pentagon has awarded almost $37 billion in contracts for work in Madison County. Executives who served on Joe Ritch's BRAC committee and as leaders in the Huntsville Chamber of Commerce have seen their companies win about $20 billion of those contracts. That's 54% of the total, according to federal contracting records. This is Danielle Ivory reporting for Bloomberg News in Washington.